We're looking good here, Patriots. This is 00 Jericho reporting July 19th, 2025. This has definitely been a week to remember, and we're looking at Epstein Phase 2. Everybody don't get all tight about it. We got Epstein Phase 1 came right off of Bondi's desk. And now we got Epstein Phase 2 rolling out. And let's see here. Oh, that's the horsey video. We don't want to see that. Out here in the beautiful Lancaster, Pennsylvania countryside. Hey, Troll Slayer, how's it going, bud? I got a great version of the national anthem that I want to play. It's the guys from the prison and Trump reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, and I think we'll just warm up with this. Wait for a couple folks to get in, and then we'll go over the news, and I got some fresh memes for you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, words of gallantly stream. And to the republic for which it stands, and the rockets one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Think inside the box.
Oh, right on, Troll Slayer. Yeah, man, we're all in rough shape, aren't we here? There you have it there. You know, the smoke grenades going off. That wasn't Patriots throwing that smoke grenade off, or the flashbangs, or shooting rubber bullets or anything. That was the cops doing it to us. And then we look at all these other riots where it's the protesters doing it to the police, and they try to make it sound like J6 was worse than 9/11, man. I mean, for crying out loud, you know? What an upside down world we live in, man. And Canada, you're going through it too. All the people in the world come together. It's not us, it's our governments that suck. We're taking over, man. Enough is enough. It's time that we see justice coming down the line for we, the people of every country on the planet right now. I know that in Brazil, they have the same thing going on there. They have a guy named Bolsonaro. He's a good guy. He's for the people. Yet he lost the election last time, and now they've just busted into his house, just like they did in Mar-a-Lago for Trump, man. and want to make him wear an ankle monitor because he's under a trial. He's going through a trial now. I mean, it's the exact same playbook they just ripped on Trump here in America over the last 4 years that they're doing on Bolsonaro in there. So these are, you can tell, it's a global network of people. It's the New World Order, and they're in war with the governments of the world, man. And we all got to stand up. We all got to unite. We all got to pray for this discernment that we could see exactly what's going on and know how to fight against an enemy that is too cowardly to confront us to our face, man. They're in this chat, you know. They follow us around. They stalk us. They harass us. They prosecute us. It's just crazy, man. Keep at it, Troll Slayer. I mean, we got the media here. You're in the media. We spread the word however we can. Whatever talents we got, we use them. And they're not talents that we developed. I mean, I never would have thought I would ever pick up an electronic device in my life. Yet here I am, you know. God led me here to this point, to this day, right here. Everything up until now has led me to this point here right now, man. Hey, Sonal, how are you, man? All about freedom. That's right, buddy. Elaine Miller, hello. And Sherry Thomas. It is good to see you all. And this was a week to remember, Patriots. I think we all need to learn some lessons here. I don't know that it's all like, you know, it's not all breakthrough great news, but we got to learn some lessons here. And look what the deep state and the New World Order just tried to do with us using the Epstein files, man. We're all seeing it. We are all taking notes on what's going on here. And all of a sudden, everybody wants to see the Epstein files, right? And it's just really hard to get information out about this, but I'll tell you what is happening right now, okay? Donald Trump told the MAGA crowd that this is a hoax, that the Biden administration, this was an investigation that was started by the Obama administration, and that Comey and Christopher Wray, all these twits from the FBI, have been in charge of this. Merrick Garland was in charge of this investigation the whole time FJB was sipping on his sippy cup at the beach for 4 years. And that this investigation has been booby-trapped to implicate Trump somehow, okay? So Trump said, you know, get off it, MAGA, you know, and then the libtards wanted to say, oh, he's excommunicating people from MAGA. Well, no, he's not. We're all just debating amongst ourselves what's going on, you know? And then when you take a step back from everything and you go, oh, Jamie Raskin is calling for the release of the Epstein files. Mike Johnson is calling for the Epstein files. All these people that were quiet for 4 years about the Epstein files, all of a sudden are saying we want to see the Epstein files. So now that we have some consensus, maybe we'll see it. And then Trump just last night in a Truth Social post made us all aware that he has directed the DOJ to release all pertinent, relevant, what other word did he use? I mean, it's an exact, you got to listen to exactly the words that he uses, man. But he wants Bondi to release the grand jury report from when Epstein was brought to trial. And what the grand jury report is there was a little trial. They get a jury, and the prosecution, before Epstein's even arrested, before there's even an arrest warrant for the dude, they have a grand jury. And this is a jury of our peers, American citizens, regular jury, that goes over the evidence that the state or, you know, the U.S. government wanted to bring against Epstein. And they determined that, yes, we did want to bring charges against Epstein. So then a warrant goes out for his arrest, and then he's arrested, and then he was brought to trial now twice. The first time he got found guilty of trafficking and having sex with minors. And then he got out. And then the second time he got arrested was the time they put him in New York, and he apparently killed himself. So we got to be careful about all this information. And it is not the most important thing in the world. It is so trivial and minor compared to all the other battlefronts that we have going on here that, Trump needed to kind of rebuke us a little bit. And I'm glad he did it. That's what God says he's going to do to us. He's going to rebuke us as a father who loves his child, man. So clue us in if we're heading down the wrong trail, if we're heading for a dead end, And really, take a step back. The Epstein Files ain't worth, there was kids involved, but those kids were 15, 16, 17 years old and getting hefty paychecks while they were there. Not all of them. From what we know, all we know is the hearsay that we've heard. So, it isn't even really worth talking about, But yeah, minors were involved, and that's serious business. But at the same time, there's busts going on all over the place. ICE is raiding all these illegals. They're rounding them up, man. They found 30,000 children that were lost in the system, and they're back on the records now. And this number of missing children keeps going up. It's up to 375,000 now, and I doubt it. I doubt that information. I know that they were using the same kids over and over. They would bring a kid in with people who weren't their parents down at the southern border, and then they would just route that kid right back into Mexico and have them come across with more people. So there is not this huge number. There's a lot of children that got abused, and it's the most horrid thing in the world, and that is what we're fighting about. But when the FJB administration was in charge of the numbers that they were giving us, and our government, and even under Trump, these entrenched America haters in the bureaucracies are still messing with the numbers. So, we don't know how many kids are missing. We know how many they found because Tom Homan just clued us in. 30,000 kids. And just this bust at this weed farm out in California, they found 14 more. 14 more underage children potentially working for nothing. Slave labor out in the marijuana fields. And they busted 300 and... how many people, man? 361 illegals were busted on this one weed farm, and 14 minors all work in the field. So that's got to be close to 100% of the workforce of that operation. And it turns out that the people who own that operation were huge Gavin Newsom supporters. They've donated money to them, and it's a government weed farm. The government messes up everything they touch. So if you want to get some messed up weed, buy from the government, because I'm sure they're not, I would rather get weed from somebody I knew that grew it, that I want things grown in the ground. I don't want hydroponics. I don't want ingredients in there. It's a plant. I want it delivered to me the way God delivered it to the earth, is the way I look at it. So the busts are happening. The news is not reporting any of this stuff. None of it. But MAGA continues to just steamroll through this, man. And then all of a sudden, the Epstein Files, maybe Trump's got some juice on some people because lo and behold, all of a sudden, bing, 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 3 bills get passed into law in the last week. We got the big, beautiful bill. We got the Fentanyl Act. And then we got the CBDC Act now, okay? The government is not allowed to set up a central bank currency, digital currency. Not going to happen. So the Federal Reserve isn't going to be able to come in and say, okay, we're all using Bitcoin now or whatever, some electronic cash system. It ain't going to happen because Trump just got all the rhinos, and a couple of Democrats even came and joined in on the CBDC bill that just passed into law like 2 days ago. So good to see you, Patriots. I am feeling ragged out. I don't know what it is. I could sleep all day if I could. just symptoms of whatever they're spraying on us and whatever they're doing to us with the 5G. We are at war, and God is my doctor. He is my shepherd. He is my teacher, and I got no worries, man. Nothing to worry about. Do not fear, little flock. Because that's all we are, man. We're just a little flock here on earth, man. We got the God of the universe as our savior. So we're sitting pretty. We're in good hands. Even though we're all suffering. Even though we're all losing people that we love. We're losing family members and friends and stuff. But, you know, we're good here. We're good here. Our reward is in heaven. And once we get there, this will seem like nothing. This will literally seem like nothing. And no matter how bad I got it, there's somebody who's got it worse. So I can't complain, man. Yeah, Jerry, plus, let's fire Jerome Powell. I mean, is not every banking person in the world looking at this Jerome Powell guy and thinking, what a knucklehead? What is he doing in America? Why is the interest rate still at, 4% from the government, man? Amen, Lou Maldonado. It is all good with God. Jerome Powell should have lowered the rates because all my life they relate the percentage rate of borrowing money to the rate of inflation. The rate of inflation is 0. Just today, I just noticed today, the gas prices in Pennsylvania has finally dropped 20 cents a gallon across the board. All grades of gas. So I'm paying $3.09 now for the low grade gas, and then $3.69 for the high test stuff, which is what I got to put in this vehicle because it has 10.5 compression, 10.25 to 1 compression. It's high performance motor. But yeah, and we got victory after victory. Okay, and then I found it ironic that right after this Epstein thing, after Trump kind of spanked everybody with a couple of comments that he made, and then he told Bondi to release any relevant, what was the word he used, man? It started with a C. It wasn't corrupt. Man, I wish I remember the one word because it's so important to listen to the words that he's saying, man. Oh, well, whatever it is. He said to release the information to Bondi. And before he said that, though, he, oh, cool, man. Before he told Bondi to release that, the first thing Bondi did was fired Maureen Comey from the Southern District of New York. We got a balloon landing here. There we go. We got some beautiful countryside here. We got the hot air balloon coming in for a landing. How cool is that? So Maureen Comey, which is James Comey, the ex-head of the FBI's daughter, was the lead prosecutor in the Epstein cases, the Ghislaine Maxwell case, and the P. Diddy case. And another little piece of information that I found out was that while Epstein was on trial, her husband, which isn't, whose last name is not Comey, her husband's name is Lucas Issacharoff, stood in for the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney during the Epstein trial. So we had a husband and wife team prosecuting Epstein in New York, man. Which is just, I mean, it's ironic, the amount of incest going on with these world leader people, and they keep us confused, and they keep us in slavery, basically, man. Yeah, that's not a Chinese balloon, right, Jerry? Usually when you see one, there's more, so I'll keep an eye out for that. And I don't know if you guys ever went up in a balloon. It's really cool. I went up on a nice November morning one time, and we were right above these Amish farms. It was right here, near here where I took the ride. And you could hear the cows mooing in the fields, and you could see the kids running down the driveway to catch the school bus. It was very cool. So we got Maureen Comey's fired. I think she set up all those prosecutions to fail. I think the FBI and the DOJ are now going through those files with a fine-tooth comb, and they're going to find out exactly how they corrupted them, exactly how they dropped the ball and let these people go. And I think it's a giant setup. It's a giant trap. We're a pro-MAGA stream here, Ragnar. Pro-MAGA. America first. Wow, they're heading back up now. And when I say MAGA, I mean that like MAGA. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I hate them both. They have screwed up our country so bad over my lifetime, 50 years that I've been aware. And it is right now MAGA versus the deep state. Trump's got to play games to play within the bounds of the Republican Party. Trump saved the Republican Party. But there's going to come a day. Now we're running out all the rhinos out of the party. That's what's got to happen. And they're retiring. They're self-deporting. So everything is going according to plan, I believe, and we will just keep things rolling forward on that. It's weird because Trump was basically scandal-free up until this point. And, you know, I just got to look at this as like, this is some kind of a setup. This is some type of a sting, I think, that he set up here. So is this set up for some reason? How do you know, Ragnar? How do you know Trump is on the list? What are you, a spook? Are you in the FBI? Are you in the DOJ? How do you know he's on the list? All you know is what the talking heads on TV told you, and now you're just regurgitating that. We don't know what's on that list. I've seen 10 different lists, you know. We've seen the flight logs. In fact, there wasn't even a list until 3 weeks ago when they started calling it a list. We used to call it the flight log. And then, you know, flight logs were released 7 or 8 years ago. And just because, all right, so let's say he is on the list, Ragnar. What do you think of that? So what? Is your name on any lists? Is my name on any lists? What does that mean? It's irrelevant information. It's hypnosis. It's a psyop, man. Can you see it? Yeah, we've all known about it for like 10 years, right, bud? Right. Why, if he's on a list, he needs to be in jail. That doesn't make any sense, man. What about due process? Don't we have due process? Are we like bending over backwards to give these illegal aliens due process? Speaking of that, Alligator Alcatraz is opened up and running like clockwork. They're trying to make mountains out of molehills. They're trying to say that the guys are drinking toilet water, but it's actually that the sink water is right above the toilet in a jail like that. That's just the way it is. So Tom Homan says, all right, so we got beds for 3,000 people down there. We're subcontracting out to CCOT still, I do believe. And Homan says we need 100,000 beds for these illegals to process them, to give them due process, man. So we got to build a couple more of these holding facilities. And I could think a couple of other states are presenting plans now to set up these temporary holding stations. We've seen a lot of these actually got built out in the, I remember Screaming Steve, man, showed us one out in the middle of nowhere in Arizona. I think we've seen several of these things that they're just like flat pieces of land. They set up a temporary prison out there, or a temporary housing place for them to, when they were coming in, they were using it for that. I had California Patriot live streams was showing us a facility out there near where they live, near LA, man. Right on. Hello, LA Forgiven. It's called Draining the Swamp, man. No one is above the law. That's right. So, you know, if you're on a list, so what? You're on a list. Big deal. And then the Washington State Journal says they released a card that Trump wrote to Epstein for his 50th birthday party, and he drew a naked lady on it. I didn't even see it. I didn't even look at it. As soon as I heard that, I'm thinking, what is this? And just like clockwork, it comes out right when we're firing Maureen Comey, right when Trump says, okay, release the grand jury report. So this is the smoke show that they do. Every time there's real information, they just light up another fake story in the Wall Street Journal or whatever. So Trump's going to sue them. Hopefully he owns the Wall Street Journal by the time he retires from the presidency in 4 years, man. What else we got going on that's great news? Oh, James Comey and Brennan are under investigation. We got Tulsi Gabbard running tip of the spear. She just got interviewed by Hannity. And, you know, I could think of like 15 better people than Hannity to interview her. But because Hannity he didn't really make anything clear. Hannity talks like I do. You know, he doesn't have the gift of presenting an idea in understandable terms, you know. I just ramble around and stuff, and so does Hannity, but he gets paid a lot of money to do it. I would have much rather see Joe Rogan interview her, or maybe like Tucker Carlson. That would have been cool. Or Laura Loomer. You know, anybody could have interviewed her better. But Tulsi Gabbard is saying that she has released information that proves Barack Obama knew that they were lying to the American people. The daily presidential briefing was presented to Barack Obama, and it said that our intelligence reports were saying that this Russia information was bogus. And they purposely hid that information and presented to the American people the lies that they presented. And they are now under investigation. And we're going to have to get a grip on our courts here, man, because I don't believe that any prosecutions of those clowns is going to go well in court, man. They're going to get let out. It's going to turn into a 5-year clown show. And I think this whole thing with presenting information to the American public has to happen so that we get some type of a way around the way the court system is right now, okay? Because the Republicans and the Democrats have allowed these activist judges to sit on their benches without doing anything. They could have impeached a lot of judges, but they let the whole J6 prosecution happen for 4 years, and not one Republican lifted a finger to get rid of one of these judges. All those judges were led by a leadership team within the court, you know. What is that? What other courthouses have leadership teams for prosecutions, man? We just watched for 4 years. What a farce the federal level of government judges are. And no Republicans did it. So what my theory is we're getting rid of this court system to prosecute these guys. And that's why we need perception. That's why we need a very good majority of the American public to be aware of how corrupt this government is, The fact that they just stole an election, had 4 years, put this country through 4 years of prosecutions and inflation and pilfering. They pilfered our wealth for 4 years. And when a large majority of the American public understands this, I think we're gonna be able to do some type of a different court system, a treason court, or something. And they got to go, glory be, but they're not doing anything about it. We've been saying that for 4 years, Boasberg is still sitting on the bench, and look at all the evidence that he wouldn't allow people to present to prove their innocence and stuff, man. What else has happened? The DOJ just had another bloodletting. They fired all the people that were on Jack Smith's team have been fired. All the J6 prosecutors have been fired. And yet we got people that go, well, I voted for Trump, but I can't do it anymore because of what Bondi's doing. These are fake MAGA people. They're out in the chats like all over the place. And 1 week they're bashing Bondi, and the next week they're bashing Kash Patel, and the next day they're bashing Bongino, and the next day they're bashing Benny Johnson, and the next day they're bashing Bannon. I mean, they are just all over the freaking map, and it's the same Looney Tunes in the chats all the time that are just trying to sow dissent within the ranks of MAGA. And it's not working. We are getting stronger. We're getting more determined. We're getting more encouraged because more and more people that aren't even MAGA right now are seeing it for the farce that it is, man. So I think we need some type of a new type of court system to prosecute this. This is high treason. This was a coup in our government that took place. And its power structure is still there. We have Trump in office and his cabinet, but Congress isn't all on board with this yet. I think Trump's got dirt on him, and that's the only way. He just got 3 bills passed in 1 week, man. So somehow or another, everything's working out, man. We just got to go with it, Patriots. Enjoy your families. Enjoy your grandkids. Have a good life. Go on vacation. Go out and look for a job if you haven't worked for a long time, because man, we need people to work. There's going to be a lot of openings in businesses coming up. Trump just came to Pennsylvania, met with our Senator Dave McCormick, and we had a round of executives from businesses just commit to $75 billion more of investment into Pennsylvania and other states. So Trump is just rolling in the investments, man. He's up to, $4 trillion worth of commitments from other companies to bring their businesses back to America so that they avoid the tariffs. So the whole tariff thing is working as planned. And the Treasury Department had a $29 billion surplus in the month of June because of the tariffs. And so far, these tariffs have brought in over $100 billion, man. So if you want to stop paying taxes, and you're bitching about tariffs, you're just fighting against yourself. This is how it's going to work. We're going to get the tariffs paying for the government to operate. We're going to downsize the government. The Department of Education is on its way out. Carrie Lake is just saying about how the Voice of America department is heading out. Elon Musk, before the election, was saying we got 420 government agencies, and we can get by with a quarter of that right off the get-go. So that's how you do it. You decrease the size of the government. We don't need 20 overlapping legal systems. You got your local sheriff, you got the state police, and you got the FBI, man. The FBI just got shut down on their new Maryland headquarters they were all salivating about. That ain't happening now. They're going to stay right where they are in D.C., and I think Kash Patel is going to move them to a different building and turn that J. Edgar Hoover building into the Treason Museum eventually. I'll definitely be visiting that if that actually happens. But this is definitely a week to remember, Patriots. We are learning lessons, okay? We got to watch out for the vicious rumors that'll rip through a camp in a night, you know? And all of a sudden, we're all backstabbing each other. I mean, in the last stream, I told about the 185 Assyrians in the Bible, and the Israelites didn't have to even pick up a sword. God went in and wiped them out by making them all attack each other. You know, he gave them a delusion that their brother was attacking them, and they killed each other off, man. I think that's kind of the same way that this is going to happen here. The government is out of control, and we're taking it back. We're taking it back. There is a golden age ahead. And if we step back and look at it, we're learning lessons here. So, Maryland has a horrible governor. Yeah, Wes Moore. He's raising taxes and prices are not going down like other states. Glory be, our gas prices just came down this week. And it's been, 6 months? And the state is doing that. Yeah, it's the Democrats in the state are keeping the price inflated as much as they can. Eventually, they won't be able to do it forever. And hopefully the prices are going to come down here. So I really couldn't tell you if, is Epstein alive? I don't know. All I know is we got our team at the top and they're rolling with it right now. Right on, Jerry. Yeah, we miss Steve too. What a guy, man. Learned a lot from him. And they're imploding, man. Did you see the whole Democrat side of the vote on the judges? Trump is trying to get some federal judges instituted, just like Biden does, like every president does. And the Democrats walked out on it. It's dereliction of duty, man. I don't know how they can retain their positions if that's how they're going to behave. They're supposed to be the grown-ups in the room. And they didn't even bother to sit there and vote no. So I guess these judges are just going to get in. We're going to have to hold the votes without them. They were going to lose anyways, but they're such sore losers that they won't even sit in the room and lose with grace, Yes, they are all getting exposed big time, Linda. In the meantime, Comey and Brennan are being under investigation now. Charges will be forthcoming soon. We got Ed Martin in the D.C. He's the head attorney for the District of Columbia. He is investigating the J6 prosecutions and the rigged elections. So we are going to get to the bottom of this eventually. Heads will roll. Necks will stretch because it was treason. That is treason. That is one thing you don't mess with. You don't mess with Comey. They did exactly what that's like an insurrection, They were projecting on the J6ers what they were doing. And we all saw how that rolled too, man. We all can see that the J6 was a sham. The cops attacked the people. When you look at all that J6 footage during that national anthem at the beginning of the stream, all that smoke wasn't from J6ers. All that smoke was from the police. They were bombing us. And now you look at all these protests that are happening in L.A. and throughout in Portland and stuff. The the Patriot, you know, how many cars were parked out behind the Capitol that day that didn't get caught on fire or have rocks thrown through the windshields, you know? I mean, it's so obvious to us, but when the people start seeing it, we're going to get some type of a military tribunal or a treason court set up, and we won't have to deal with all these judges. And then out of nowhere, that Brunson case, I mean, sooner or later, man, we're going to find out that all the people that voted to certify that 2020 election broke their oaths and are going to get ejected out of office. I mean, what is the point of having an oath if you won't protect the country from enemies, foreign and domestic? They voted for that to certify that rigged election. They got to go. And that was 400 and it was just over 400 of them voted to certify. So that means there was 100 people, 100 representatives that didn't certify that election, and those are the ones that are still fighting right now. We got another guy, Dr. Michael Kirk Moore, had his charges dropped. This guy was getting prosecuted for not vaccinating his patients, you know, when they set up that whole thing where you had to get vaccinated to keep your job. You had to have papers that said you were vaccinated. This Michael Kirk Moore was kind of, you know, stretching the rules. I believe that he actually gave people like saline injections, but then he signed off on their vaccination cards, and they prosecuted him. He was facing 35 years for refusing to vaccinate his patients. And Marjorie Taylor Greene just brought that to Pam Bondi's attention, and he's in the process of getting his pardon. Marjorie Taylor Greene was also threatened. Judge Jeanine Pirro, who, if I'm not mistaken, is a temporary appointment now and may have just earned her permanent status there, but she has arrested some people that work within Carrie Lake's department, the Voice of America, of a guy who was using the phones at work while he worked for Voice of America to threaten the lives of Marjorie Taylor Greene and her staffers and her family. And we got her all on tape, you know, it's all on tape. And we know who did it. So here's another guy going to jail. CNN ain't going to tell you about that. But that's happening now. Let's see, we had just the other day, there was 5 unauthorized incursions into the restricted airspace above Bedminster, New Jersey on July 5th, and NORAD responded to that. So that means 5 unauthorized planes broke the restricted airspace over Bedminster while Trump was there the other day. So they're still trying, man. They're still trying to get Trump. No doubt about it. We gotta be ready. And God forbid they get him. We got to learn these lessons this week to remember. Let's learn our lessons, man, about not ripping ourselves apart over hearsay and rumors, and keeping our level-headed patriotism on, you know, keeping it level-headed. Let's not rip each other apart, man. We're all on the same team. We love our country. We are America first. That doesn't mean you're not a Republican or a Democrat or anything. America first is MAGA, and you vote however you want, man. Sign up however you want, Democrat or Republican. If you believe in America first, and there's no reason why you shouldn't, then join MAGA. Join MAGA. You can donate money to Israel if you want. You know, you can use your money to donate, but don't make everybody else donate money to Israel just because you think that's right. That's not America. You can donate money. You can send soup cans to Ukraine if you really want to, but don't make everybody pay for it. You can support NPR, but don't make everybody pay for it. Why are you doing that? Why has the government facilitated this? You can support abortions if you want, so contribute to your abortion clinic if that's what you believe. That's fine, man. You can worship Allah, but don't make everybody believe that. This is America. This is liberty and the freedom to have a pursuit of happiness, right? Jerry, the crowns with the numbers on them has something to do with who is chatting the most. And it's kind of something new on YouTube I've been seeing. And there should be like a thing, an icon you can hit up by the live chat button above the chat, and you can find out if you're on that list. So it's whoever's making the most comments, I think. Yeah, so you can join America first, and become a recovering libtard. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? All right. So there's a dozen things I'm not thinking of right now that we're winning. We're winning all over the place, basically. So I think Epstein Phase 2 is what we're at now. When Bondi released that file, that binder, said Epstein Phase 1, right? We're in Epstein Phase 2. And I believe that there's going to be an Epstein Phase 3 and an Epstein Phase 4 and 5, because this is how we're bringing in the normies, the people who, don't pay enough attention, because it is a topic that touches a nerve with the children that were abused through that, whatever Epstein was doing there. That hits a nerve with everybody. Nobody wants to see children abused like that, or put into slavery, or trafficked. And that's exactly what they were doing. Biden was facilitating that. He was funding it. He was providing airplanes for it. And we know it because we've been paying attention. But for some reason, we need the court of public opinion to reach a majority on that, and it's going to take some time to do that. And that's what we're doing. That's why we're here, right? We're doing that now. All right, so I got some fresh memes. Let's get to some fresh memes. First of all, here's the thumbnail for this. Yeah, it's coming out that Macron is married to a dude, just like Barack Obama. I mean, if you can't tell that's a dude, come on, man. And I think we all knew this. But it's just now coming out. And it just goes to show you what these elite people are. They are degenerate. They're not like us, man. Oh, right on. Jerry's on the list. Well, a bunch of libtards think you got to go to jail now, Jerry, because you're on the list. Amen, Ellie, forgiven. That's right. We get our crowns when we get to heaven, and we are going to give them right back. That's for sure. Give them to the one who earned them for us, because we didn't earn them for us. There's another funny one I saw. Might have to think about that one for a little bit. Jerry, we will meet again, bud. No doubt about it. So what we got here is the aliens are actually dinosaurs, and they're coming back to the Earth, and they're saying, finally, we're home. Hope the monkeys didn't touch anything. Yeah, you thought that was Ozzy Osbourne. It did kind of look like Ozzy. And just to be honest, that wasn't Macron's husband, actually, or wife. That was just a funny meme, because she is a creepy looking woman, man. Or dude, I guess. I don't know. I don't care. All right, I'm loading up some memes here so we can go through these and talk about them a little bit. I got one more funny one here. RFK is totally revamping the health in the America here. And RFK Jr. announced his plan to put cocaine back into Coca-Cola. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be great if the government just got out of the illegal drug business, period? We're going through a big flap now where they just put the fentanyl as a category 1 felony drug, and they are increasing the amount of time you can go to jail if you're caught with it. And they're finally talking about taking marijuana off that, because according to the federal government, marijuana is a class 1 felony substance, which means it has no medicinal value and is highly deadly. And we all know that neither of those things are true. We have thrown thousands, if not millions, of people in prison over marijuana. I've been fighting it since 1976. It's an absolute sham that marijuana is still on the number 1 Schedule 1 drug list. Absolute sham. Hey, 812, dude, I did check out that guy you were saying, man. I checked out a little bit of it. And thanks for turning me on to that in Mags' chat the other day. But the guy was a little too much on the Palestinian stuff there. I couldn't agree with a lot he said. There's Jesus throwing out the money changers. Modern day. The modern day money changers. There's Maureen Comey for you. Bye-bye. See you, Lever. Good to know you. See you never. Yeah, I think late forgiven, it's just not something to be throwing people in jail for. The fentanyl is, but I can't agree with the Mary Jane. I don't think it should be going to prison for that. Possibly if you're some type of a high-level dealer or something, but so many years have been erased from productive members of society over it that I just don't agree with it, man. And here, all these fake MAGA people were ready to throw Bongino under the bus. But MAGA held strong. America First held strong. This guy's doing a good job. They are literally just got employed by a department that has an active crime scene going on in it. And we are watching it play out with the charges coming against Comey and Brennan. I mean, James Comey was the head of the FBI. Same department that Bongino and Kash Patel are working at. It can lead to stronger drugs. That's true, Linda. But isn't that kind of a journey that we all got to go on this life? Here's a little piece of information. I just found this was ironic, that the CIA was started in 1947. And Israel was started in 1948. It's just weird. It's weird. Well, yeah, Lou, Obama's got some splaining to do. You're right. It all leads back to Obama. Obama was the one who knows the information was bogus, yet he chose to lie. And he chose to put into operation the whole Russia hoax. They're all getting busted. And this ain't for taking out like bad home loans. Like they're trying to get Adam Schiff with this bad home loan thing, and Letitia James. And you can't tell me that that's the worst thing that they did, but they're doing that to, I don't know, for lack of a better case, or they're lazy, but they could just be placeholders. You know, these guys are under investigation for those home loans, when I know they're guilty of much, much more. I mean, Adam Schiff and the Standard Hotel and that boy that died. And I mean, there is a lot there that we've known for getting on 10 years now, man. Yeah, Jerry, isn't it great to have that victory in our, that feather in our cap? All right, what do we got here? Biden's pardons of the January 6th committee were signed by AutoPen at the direction of an assistant. Oh, yeah, we got the whole AutoPen thing going on, too, at the same time. So, while in the middle of FBI and Bondi firing all these people, we got all these new prosecutions coming up. So I think our DOJ and FBI really got their hands full. These guys are going to be superheroes if we can get through the next 2 years and actually get some people arrested and prosecuted. So what it's saying here, at the January 19th meeting, the day before Trump was sworn into office, which took place at the Yellow Oval Room of the White House residency, Mr. Biden kept his aides until nearly 10 p.m. to talk through such decisions, according to people familiar with the matter. The emails show that an aide to Mr. Siskel sent a draft summary of Mr. Biden's decisions at that meeting to an assistant of Mr. Zients. Copying Mr. Siskel at 10:03 p.m., the assistant forwarded it to Mr. Reed and Mr. Zients, asking for their approval, and then sent a final version to Mrs. Feldman, copying many meeting participants and aides at 10:28, the day before Trump was inaugurated. I approve of the use of the auto pen. This is what they did. Why did the J6 committee need pardons? If what they did was legal, why did they need pardons? Isn't that strange? Here's new weed coming out of California. Sweatshop strawberry. We know Gavin's gearing up to run for president, so he declares California a sanctuary state for child slavery. Apparently it already was. Maybe that's the whole point of having a sanctuary state where the federal government can't come in and enforce federal laws. Wow. LA, forgive it. I saw the one pardon that FJB actually signed was Hunter's pardon. And when you look at the signature he put on there, it looks like he messed up his own signature. Like he wrote the B in Biden twice. Like he couldn't even, he was so incompetent he couldn't sign his own name. And that may be the excuse they're going to give why they were using the auto pen, because Joe couldn't sign his own name. Oh, and another story from the week that is the end of the world, according to libtards, is Trump has swollen ankles. Oh, my goodness. They just ran with that, you know. Trump was totally upfront with a couple of medical conditions that he's got now. His hand got bruised up from shaking so many hands. And he did look like he had swollen ankles at one of the meetings. So, dude is 79 years old. I don't know how he does it. He is a force of nature to be reckoned with. Yeah, Glory B, I remember that on your stream. Glory B says, when I called Raskin out to his face, he went straight to name calling. Benny Johnson was there, gave me a hug, and said he thought it was great to see him getting a taste of his own medicine. Yes, Glory be. That's awesome. And when I was a kid here, I used to love Mario Andretti. He was the coolest guy. And way back in 2013, Trump posted this on his Twitter account. And it's a quote from Mario Andretti. If everything seems under control, you're not going fast enough. So I think that's where we're at right now, okay? It may feel somewhat out of control. But in order to win a race, this is what you got to do. You got to have the pedal to the metal. You got to be drifting turns. No mercy. Here's what Barack Obama is about to see at his front door. Open up, Barack. Time to go. Time to go. Barack, are you in there? Barack Obama was just on a podcast with Michelle, telling the audience how important it was that he had a homosexual mentor in college, and trying to equate to the people of this country that everybody needs somebody besides their father to mentor them on such things. These people just continually get up front of everybody and embarrass themselves while they're mocking us. Here was an interesting shot taken from one of the meetings when Netanyahu was just here at the White House for the third time already. I mean, just take a step back and look at that. What's going on? Why is Netanyahu on the frequent visitor program at the White House, right? What is going on? What is Netanyahu all worried about? Is it the billions of dollars he gets every year? No, the Supreme Court did not grant all presidents immunity from criminal charges. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, dude. I'm not a lawyer. Here's the flap with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Post from Carrie Lake off of X. A Voice of America employee has been indicted for threatening Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene using phones at the VOA studios to threaten Greene and her staff. The phone calls came from inside the VOA studios and control room, where threats were made to the district offices of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Busted. Where's the Wall Street Journal article on that one? Oh, yeah, and we got this little victory, too. NPR and PBS quit Twitter in 2023 after being labeled government-funded media, arguing the funding they receive is so trivial as to render such a designation unfair and inaccurate. Now we're told the potential loss of the allegedly trivial funding possesses an existential threat. See how they just change? They swing 180 overnight to bolster whatever their argument is, man. NPR lost $1 billion a year that the government was giving them, and NPR, which they then used for all their public radio stations. I'm not saying that all the public radio stations are a bad thing, but they have been extremely slanted against Trump, and to the point where they're producing false information, lying to the public. And they're just going to have to make do without the government's money. So all you NPR, PBS viewers and listeners, you can donate your money to them if you really feel that they're that important to keep around. We're not putting them out of business. We're just taking away the funding that we've been giving them. They were in business before we got funding from the federal government going to them, but not anymore. Take it away. If you live in a libtard state, get your state government to give them money. I can't say that that's right. That isn't true liberty, but that's what you're going to have to do if you really feel like NPR should continue to exist, man. Oh, and another little silver lining. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is getting canceled. I thought that was great news, and then I heard, oh, it's not getting canceled until next March. So whatever. We'll see if that actually happens. But it is a nice little silver lining. Adam Schiff, I am not a crook. 5 times I got Fannie loans on homes that I classified as primary because as a congressman, I primarily live all over the country. They can bend the rules as much as they want, but if you tried to do that, Patriots, you would be arrested. You would have your home raided, your home taken from you, your children put into protective custody. It's a 2-tiered system of justice, man. All right, and I'm not throwing Elon over the side of the boat here, man. Elon Musk did a post the 12th of this month. What the hell kind of system are we living in if thousands of kids were abused, the government has videos of the abusers, and yet none of the abusers are even facing charges? So if that's what we're up against right now, those busts better start happening. But there's other things. This is a multi-front war. We are surrounded, but we are slowly gaining on the enemy in this unconventional war. Wondering who will replace him, Linda says. Well, if we get a grip on the elections, probably a Republican or an America First MAGA candidate, hopefully. All right, I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, yes. My message to trolls. I love it when 85% of people who were shitting their pants out of fear during the pandemic lined up like cattle for COVID vaccine, wore a mask while driving alone, and hid in their basement for 3 years, are now out here talking about fighting for tyranny. If you're vaccinated, you have no moral authority, no backbone, and no resistance. You didn't resist. You complied. You were the tyranny. You were the snitch, the cheerleader for censorship, the one screaming, trust the science, while blindly obeying propaganda like the programmable, non-player characters. Now you want to act like freedom fighter and expect us to trust you? Sit down and shut up. I read that and I was thinking, yes. You have no moral authority, no backbone, no resilience. You did not resist. They were all out protesting with signs that said resist. Yet they were the ones snitching on your neighbor. Hey, he went to the beach. He's outside with his family. He's not self-distancing. Yeah. When really, they're all just minions in the battle. Helpless minions. What else? Oh, there was a little tip about the... All right, we'll get... So somebody took over the Elmo X account somehow and put out all this like nasty comments about the Jews and about Israel and just vulgar stuff, man. But it's just another one of them weird things that's happening in today's world, today's upside down. Is there a new pandemic coming, Linda? I'm talking about the trolls, Jerry. They have no moral authority to come in and say anything about resisting. All right, I think we're repeating ourselves here now. So that would mean that we are at the end of our broadcast, Patriots. And it's starting to get dark out. It was a beautiful day here today, so I hope you're all out enjoying your families, getting some gardening done, keeping up on the house, man. This isn't overwhelming. The sun's going to come up tomorrow. It's going to set again. You know, God's got us in the palm of his hands. We are here until he calls us home, man. We're here till we're done with the projects that he's lined up for us all throughout our lives here. So there is no fear, little flock. No fear whatsoever. Onward, Christian soldier. We march on. And but our strength is our prayers, okay? So pray for Trump and Vance and Tulsi and everybody that's in that cabinet right now, because they are at the front of those battlefronts, each and every one of them, man. Taking down the Department of Education. Kerry Lake, taking down the Voice of America. And we got more plays coming up from the back. You know, we got other people that aren't in positions right now that I think are going to be getting some pretty serious positions. We need some special investigators, special counsels for some of these new prosecutions that are coming up. So I think we're going to see like Matt Gaetz jump in somewhere, possibly. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But we got a lot of patriots that don't have positions right now that are ready to jump in, just like you and me, man. We're ready to jump in wherever we're called. So that's how it's playing out, man. We've been fighting this for 10 years, man. All right, on. Kerry's doing good. It'd be nice to see him. I know that Crystal Clear News is going through some stuff. Julius is still having troubles, man. And it's not looking good there for his foot. They want to cut his foot off. I just pray that we all find the healing that we need, that we find the finances that we need. I need a vehicle. Sean, looking for a vehicle. We all need stuff, man. Yeah, you can get right the hell out of here, dude, with that fake name. What an imposter. I hope you heard the last message there, screamer, troll, bootlicker. Because you guys are out there just narking on the neighbors, stalking people, being cowards, faceless cowards. You guys are pathetic. I hope someday that you see what you're guilty of right now. So keep all the patriots in our prayers, man. I know L.A. Forgiven could use some prayers out there. I know Jay Jones can use some. L.A. Cowgirl, right on. Praying and believing. Glory be. You could use some prayers, can't you? So keep up the prayers. Our God will lead us to victory. This battle ain't over, and it's getting hectic. All right, Patriots, I'm done for now. We'll see you next week. See you out, and let's learn from our mistakes, okay? All right, God bless you, Patriots. This is Jericho, over and out.